Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The chairperson of the board, the CEO, Prince Gao. It always happens that when I have to talk, the time will be taken care of. It happens also in the church. When it's my turn, they will. I am going to do a brief introduction of who we are. That is Eastern Cape Hair Producers Association, that was initiated in 1999. I'm one of those farmers that started the pilot project in 1999. So those who heard about it in 2019 have been there long before. We're going to go first. We said to ourselves, we don't want to be farmers, we want to be producers, because most of the people that are in the cannabis field, they are coming from being able to use it. So if you are using it, it means you are in the processing. So you cannot only concentrate on cultivating, but you also have to concentrate on processing it. Then we decided to say our name must have producers rather than cultivators or farmers. Let's go straight to the introduction. We'll leave everything else if I want to get myself on time. Thank you. The establishment of the cannabis industry will lead to the diversification of the economy and thus increase economic growth, create jobs, and for poverty alleviation. And we are wishing for that. The potential size of the cannabis industry in South Africa is estimated at about 28 billion. We don't know how that came, but we're sticking to that. It is estimated that it can create between 10,000 to 25,000 jobs across the entire value chain, according to the NDP. Let me go to the challenges. Legislation. Whilst they are saying we are free to commercialize, but if you look into the hemp permit itself, you find that there are still legislative issues that make us not to cultivate freely or trade freely. No South African seed, no formal seed company here in South Africa. High entry barriers, including those of the legislation. I'm glad that they've taken off the clearance record, the criminal record thing from the requirements that they were looking for when you're applying for a hemp permit. Negative public perceptions. We still have that. Lack of manufacturing capacity, because we're not given the chance, and even those that are on the manufacturing, they don't know what to do about it. Limited investments in research and technology development programs for cannabis. Highly fragmented sector, proliferation of illegal products. There's a lot that you can see, people selling online, market challenges, threat of takeover or dominance by big corporations and pharmacy groups with big money. Government support, a huge challenge. Talking about the primary production, is the foundation of cannabis and what the industry gets built on, the primary production. You cannot have any other processing if you do not have the primary production. I can hear the last speaker, they even go to the effect of making sure that they are helping the women to clear the land. Processing and manufacturing largely hinges on the scales of production and not forgetting quality. Cultivators will cultivate the cannabis plant for a specific industry. However, the waste would generate additional revenue. Waste depending on what we're looking for. Training is required for those who are undertaking cannabis cultivation for their first time. It is considered a prerequisite, therefore it is not listed below. Production input role players. They are not working together, they are not there. Breeding companies, only few people that will say we are breeding in their little corner there. Seed company suppliers, nurseries, chemicals, especially the organic chemicals that are needed, because most of the people who want the cannabis produce, they want it organically grown. Companies for equipment and mechanization. An example of that, we do not have a seed planter for hemp seed. Primary producers, small growers, commercial growers, contractors, and communal land users. Cultivation inputs outdoor. We need to map, which I think is what ECRDA is busy with, mapping the land, soil testing, fencing, seed, mechanization, tillage, and up to harvesting. Labor, fertilizers, sources of water, and land. We still say land because when we are talking about our members in the Sarah Batman area, most of them, they are hiring the land, they are leasing the land from other farmers, so they do not have their own land. And on the other hand, you find out there are free farms that are lying farm or doing nothing that belong to the government under Dalrat. They should be given to those farmers. Cultivation input indoors. We are including these because in some cases we do have people cultivating indoors like myself. So we have to have special inputs for that side. Grow medium and labor, that is very much expensive. Labor in general, chemicals, pesticides and fungicides, and strictly they must be organic. Stationary and equipment, I think people will ask why stationary and equipment. There is a lot of writing. You write the cultivar, the date of planting. You write who comes, who came in, everything. So you need to have that. Infrastructure, shade net houses or greenhouses. Cultivation target types, medicinal, that is cosmetic cannabinoid production that will come from the flower. Food and beverage comes from the seed and also the leaves. Industrial, that will be fiber, stock, and head. I always have a problem when I'm talking about industrial and looking at that, taking a flower out, because I think that when you are in one room and producing something, that is, to me, that's manufacturing. But I can't change what it is. Interchangeable between industries, e.g. home seed oil, hemp seed oil can be used in medicinal, cosmetic, food and beverage. Lastly, industrial biofuel. We can skip that one and the next one.
Guide us in terms of slides on the screen.
Yes, you can skip the ones that have got pictures, primary processing. Skip that one, and also the industrial hemp. We go to Eastern Cape Hemp Producers Incubation Hub. We are thinking of the Cannabis Industrial Village. That is a plan of our incubator, where most of the primary processing will be happening to ensure that the hub has staff that is trained and competent to the demands required. That will start from the primary processing. Secondly, this ensures that quality of produce is not lost but maintained through the value addition process. This solidifies the relationship between production and processing, where producers can fetch more of the produce and the processors getting quality products. We will be managing the produce in one place and also grading it accordingly. The village will be a link between the production and the processing, creating a sustainable value chain, which will translate to a stronger market. The proposed location enables primary producers to reach processors and in the perfect position for access to ports. We identified earlier East London ITZ to be the suitable hub, and they do have some buildings there that could accommodate what you are planning. Processors include micro to macro. At macro scale, is looking for its members. At micro, the association is looking at its members, those members that were there, that started the small active sewing projects that we had since 1999. We're looking at that. Those who are also involved in cosmetics. We're looking at having them, those as our SMMEs, and also going further to partner with the macro companies like MBSA and all the companies that are doing the small parts that are needed for the C class or the motors that are being manufactured there. That is what we're looking for. A cannabis industrial village role will be to have an area where we wash leaves and drying them. Those that are making tea and those that are involved in food, seed separation, sorting and cleaning, decortication, trimming and curing of hemp flower, batching and storage. Product and services. Main product, cultivation of hemp flower, seed stocks, processing use, seed multiplication. The services and products will be executed in micro and macro business scales to create jobs. There is a machine that is called Hemp Train that does most of the things that we want: the decortication, the separation of the seed, and cleaning of the seed, and multiple other purposes that is done by this machine. It is you get it from Canada, and it is costly, but we think in some way you can use it if we are in the macro scale. But you still have to use the small decorticators for our rural people to make sure that they've got something to do. We don't want to take all the jobs from the people. We're talking about leaf bubble washers, dehuller, debarder and trimmer, decorticator, seed cleaner, buildings and infrastructure, pack house, storage and store silos, cold rooms, clean rooms. There's a lot that is needed there according to each individual produce and also its use. Secondary processors. It is proposed that there is a business space with office space and a processing area where small, large business companies can process further to products that will reach the shelves. That's the building that we want to see. It covers all that you are looking for. Talking about the entrepreneurs, we have the industrial entrepreneurs, which are the automotive industry, composites, fuels, that is biofuel, textile, fabric, and others, construction, hemp bricks, other entrepreneurs, cosmetics, medical, that is cannabinoids. When you are looking at it, either THC or CBD, it's going to be there, food and beverage, cannabis tourism, technical skills required, training, compliance, business plan, assistance, other administration functions. We learned that most of the university that we have here, they do offer some of these things. When we are talking the compliance, the HACCP, and all those certifications. We also need website for branding of our products and branding of our organization. Manufacturing product development. We've talked about those. Businesses need assistance with the development of initial product processes, comprehensive technology package, and prototype development. Unfortunately, there's none of the businesses in here, including government, that is featuring in that space. Only Gauteng. I know that because my son and other two young fellows of the Eastern Cape, they managed to do these, what you call the applications to the Gauteng, and then they were granted to work with CSIR. Sourcing of intellectual property opinions, production of market samples and all, associated testing, refining and implementing designs, conducting field studies to test the assumptions made about the technology and market. We used before to work with CSIR. Dr. Blow was working for CSIR and he actually tested our first fiber, and we could see that we are able to be involved in the textile industry with our hemp stocks. So today there is no research that is taking place either on the cultivation or on the processing side. That is one of the hurdles that we're foreseeing now. Customer needs, supporting of certification activities and specification, sheet development, piloting and technology scale up, techno-economics evaluation studies, detailed primary market research, and business plan development. Unfortunately, Dr. Da cannot even help us with the business plans. I don't know whether ECRDA is able to do so. Early stage research projects, equipment, except for specialized equipment that is within the budget constraints and required to enable qualifying activities. The machinery, there is no machinery here or equipment here in South Africa. It is always imported when you need it. Sometimes even a lousy machine, the one of making tea bags, it has to be bought from another country, not here in South Africa. Working capital, operational costs not associated with the project. Those are the challenges. And those are the business, the needs of each business. Our USP, unique selling proposition, is that hemp produce organically grown in the natural values of its own origin with natural benefits. That is the Eastern Cape. We think that it is on its own origin when we are producing it here in the Eastern Cape. Neighboring provinces, Free State, KwaZulu-Natal, Mpumalanga, and Gauteng are the competition. However, there is a significant amount of potential in cultivation. Neighboring African countries are competing with hemp producers when talking foreign investors and buyers, but we managed to compete well with Lesotho, and we won the battle. Advantages: land and conducive climate conditions, organized producers, trace your produce, know where your hemp was sourced, that is an advantage. Legal hemp permit, innovative products situated in the Eastern Cape, a region already famed for cannabis cultivation and genetics. Years of collective experience with hemp and CBD, a desirable collective for investment and partnerships. Disadvantages: long-run economic viability will be affected by factors including competition from other domestic crops for hectareage, global competitors in hemp and hemp products, market information and transparency, and the regulatory environment, target market and customer, motor industry, and we have to exploit that because we have more here in the Eastern Cape. Building materials, PG Bison, SAPI, construction companies and government for low-cost houses and other construction companies. Domestic market, national and tourists. Let's pass that one. What we want to say is that we want to see ourselves having a hemp hub in the Eastern Cape, not only as cultivators, as it used to be. They know that you will cultivate and that will be taken elsewhere. What Mr. Lambert was trying to say there, we are now looking at having something like more of a Chinatown or China village, where you plant, you process where you are, and whoever comes outside must come and buy what we have done. We are even saying, let us have a government that will listen to us to say, if they say it must be 0.02, we are in a situation where we can do 3 instead of 0.0 something. Let that 3 talk for us, and whoever is coming from abroad must not come and regulate what we have and regulate who we are. They must buy what we have, and if not, let us also look at what is it that we can do, because what makes us to always think of satisfying the other person rather than ourselves. It is because we do not have money. We always come with our heads on our hands, begging to say, you can, when my old granny was selling his ox, the white guy would come and say, what do you want? How much are you looking for this ox? He will look at the problems that he has and how much he needs for those problems, and then give the price, not the worth of the ox, but what he is looking for. We want to run away from that. We want to run away from the fact that you will dig the gold and then it is taken elsewhere, and it comes back. We cannot even afford to buy it. That's where we want to be. And lastly, Prince, we want us to work not as hemp or cannabis. Cannabis is one word, under the word cannabis, there's medicinal, which is DACA, and then there's hemp. Let us work together so that we are able to own the industry. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much.